Wilma works so hard at her exercise that her doctor decided she was ready for a heavy steel brace. The leg brace made it possible for Wilma to walk without hopping. Because of this, she could now go to school. School wasn't a happy place for Wilma. Her classmates made fun of her leg brace. She wasn't allowed to play games with them. Wilma fought her silence by doing more leg exercises.
Wilma Rudolph was born in Clarksville, Tennessee. In 1940, she had 19 older brothers and sisters.
As soon as Wilma could walk, she ran or jumped instead. People were very worried about her. She was always sick. During the first few years of her life, she had pneumonia, measles, mumps, and chickenpox. Her mother nursed her back to health each time at home. Only one doctor in Clarksville would treat black people.
Just before Wilma turned 5, she got sickly than ever. During this sickness, Wilma's left leg twisted inwards and she couldn't move it back. When the doctor came to see her, he discovered she had scarlet fever and polio. In those days, most children who got polio either died or were permanently crippled. There was no cure. Wilma, that lively girl, would never walk again.
Wilma never believed that she would never walk again. She kept moving any way she could. She would hop on one foot to get herself around the house, to the outhouse, in the backyard, and to church. Wilma's mother urged her to continue moving. Even though she now had 22 children to take care of, she would take Wilma to the hospital twice a week. Wilma and her mother had to ride on a bus and travel 50 miles to the nearest hospital that would treat black patients. They rode together in the back of the bus, the only place blacks were allowed to sit. Doctors and nurses helped Wilma do exercises to make her paralyzed legs stronger. Wilma practiced constantly even when it hurt.
Wilma was not allowed to attend school because she couldn't walk. Tearful and lonely, she watched her brothers and sisters run off to school each day. She hated being left behind all alone. Tired of crying all the time, she decided she needed to fight back.
One Sunday on her way to church, Wilma felt good. Church was Wilma's favorite place in the world. She knew it would be just the right place for her to try her bravest thing had ever done. Wilma stayed behind while everyone else went into the church. She unlocked her heavy brace and set it by the church front door. Wilma took a deep breath and moved one foot in the front of the others. Her knee trembled violently. When it was her turn to compete, Wilma forgot about the pain in her ankle. She lunged forward, not thinking about her fear or pain. She ran faster and better than she ever had before. She ran better than anyone else. Wilma Rudolph won the 100-meter dash. No one else even came close. In Olympics, gold medal was hers to take home.
Wilma Rudolph was walking row by row, heads turned towards her. As she walked alone down the aisle, her family, friends, and everyone from her school stared at her with wide eyes. Wilma walked all the way down to the front and sat down to she couldn't stop smiling. Wilma was used to winning. She was so upset about the loss. She sat on the bench with her head down. At the game that day was a college coach. He admired Wilma's basketball playing, but was extra impressed by the way she ran. He wanted her for his track and field team. With his help, Wilma won a full athletic scholarship to Tennessee State University. She was the first member of her family to go to college.
Wilma practiced walking as often as she could. When she was 12 years old, she was able to take off the brace for good. Wilma and her mom wrapped the hated brace in a box and melted back to the hospital. When Wilma sent that box away, she knew her life was beginning all over again.
Wilma couldn't wait to play basketball. Basketball was the game she had most liked to watch. Wilma was skinny but no longer tiny. Her long legs would propel her across the court and through the air. She knew all the rules and all the moves. She led her high school basketball team to one victory after another. She took the team all the way to the Tennessee State Championship, but her team lost. 8 years after she mailed her brace away, Wilma went to the 1960 Olympic Games. She represented the USA in Rome, Italy. Wilma twisted her ankle after she arrived in Rome. It was swollen and painful during the first days of the race.
When it was time for the 200-meter dash, Wilma was already famous. The crowd was chanting her name. When she crossed the finish line, she had done it again. She finished ahead from everyone else. She earned her second gold medal. The crowd went wild. The 400-meter relay race was next.
Wilma was ready to dash to the finish line. Wilma and her team were in third place. Ever since the day she had walked down the aisle at church, Wilma knew the power of concentration. She put her mind to work. In a final electrifying burst of speed, she pulled ahead. She won by a fraction of a second. She made history. She won for the third time.
At the ceremony, the band played the Star-Spangled Banner. Wilma stood tall and still with her gold medal around her neck. Wilma, once known as the sixth child in Clarksville, and now became the fastest woman in the world.